So it's hosted on their official website. You can submit an artwork or basically any medium you wish. Then you'll just have to wait 1.5 months. The upper 10% get one artist code, they get featured, they get a badge, the monthly challenge badge. There are also honorable mentions that get their artist dashboard unlocked. The catch is that you'll have to wait for a long time before you know that you get a code or not. So keep watching for faster ways to get one. So the next way to get...
So let me see here. So today's challenge is, what is it, the challenge? It says, explore your ongoing past and challenges. Ongoing and past challenges. So the last challenge it was elegance. Fuck, wish I did that one. So the mirrors, huh? I don't know about that one. Can I do mirrors? Twitch badges. Animation illustration. Graphic designs. Interesting. I don't know. Howdy. Hello. Hello.
Siri_bot said Siri_bot is here, Siribo arrived. Bot Rick's official said be a support hero today by using commands like.
Oh, I should turn that off, bro. Hold on. I'll turn that off. That shit. Right. Turn that off. Discord, default. Honor, commercial, runs, commercial, and add. I don't know about that one. Let me see. Regulars, login, giveaways. I think it's in the Steam thing, but I'm not totally sure. How your day going? Been pretty good, Brad. Thanks for asking. We just started. I'm just gonna give this a second. What is that? Am I not live? What the? Oh. Okay. So we have to. I don't know if I'm gonna do this challenge. I really don't think I'm going to. Actually do it. Hold off. Okay, so today I should get this ready for. Okay, let me make this into a different. Say this as. Okay, that's good enough. Now, what I'm gonna do here, since October will be the August, September, October, I should get this in ready. So I'm gonna make 3 of these and 3 of the other ones. I think what we're gonna do is get a go to Pinterest. First we're gonna make the sketch of the character. Then after we're doing the sketch, we will separate everything from that point. So I'm happy with what we get. So what should we? Okay. Okay, first I think we should do a witch. I think that'd be the fastest one. Maybe look at some references. Okay, a witch is not bad. Let's start with that one. So first, okay. Let's get the outfit first. We'll do the hat last. So I'm going to turn this down, and we're going to so you can see what we're looking at. Or so. Okay, so as we are here, I don't think I'll do the VGen thing today. I'm gonna hold that off and figure out what I'm gonna do with that because I need to get a code. I need to get a VGen code. That's our saying that. So while we're sitting here,
or major film,
I'm gonna play this instead. Pedro Pascal. Okay. Let me see down here. Where could you go? So, okay,
films per year.
okay, yeah, that's cool. Alright, I'm gonna turn this down.
Hollywood has decided that their next cultural superstar is Pedro Pascal, as he has been chosen as the leading man in 4 major films per year with no signs of slowing down. And while most actors get roles for, well, incredible acting, Pedro seems to be securing roles for other reasons. The 50-year-old has been labeled as the perfect representation of modern masculinity, having a rugged, sexy exterior, but also a soft, gentle, and kind soul who appreciates women in a way that most other men seemingly can't.
And then we're going to have you introduce yourself.
Let's see your nails first.
Oh, yes, of course.
They're very
like?
nice. Yeah, they're very beautiful. You're welcome.
He has even been labeled the, quote, daddy of the internet, a title that he happily accepts.
But daddy is a state of mind, you know what I'm saying? I'm your daddy.
And as if he couldn't be any more of a heartthrob, he is being praised for bravely using his platform to speak on sensitive political issues.
I want people to be safe and to be protected, and I want very much to live on the right side of history.
Pedro Pascal has checked all the boxes to be considered a modern-day Hollywood superstar, but others are not exactly hyped on his dominance. Pascal fatigue is starting to kick in, and opposers are pointing out that he may just be the newest product of Disney's over-manufactured celebrity machine, less about talent and more about aligning with their social vision for the future. And just like every other celebrity that gets this much praise this fast, he feels like a ticking time bomb, and that same level of obsession that boosted him up might also be what eventually destroys him. Pedro Pascal was a failing actor for 20 years, surviving off the royalties from one television episode appearance in 1999. He said, "We're talking about being able to see a doctor, getting sick, having surgery, paying my rent. I had less than $7 in my bank account, and a residual from Buffy the Vampire Slayer showed up and saved the day, and literally is the reason I was able to stay in Hollywood and not give up." For 2 decades, he was just another background face, never the star, and definitely not a known name in Hollywood. At 36 years old, Pedro Pascal was living paycheck to paycheck, seriously considering if it was time to give it all up and explore. Then he got a role that would drastically change his life. Game of Thrones absolutely dominated TV for almost a decade, and season 4 is where it seriously peaked. You couldn't go to school, your job, or a local bar without someone saying the phrase, "Winter is coming." So when Pedro got the role of Oberyn the Viper Martell, he knew millions around the world were going to tune in. Now, much like the roles he secured in the past, this character was only going to last a few episodes. Before the
Did you get my message? I don't know if you saw it. I don't know if you saw it. Let me know if you did.
audience could truly get to know the Viper on a deeper level, the Mountain, a massive and brutal knight, would manhandle him, gouge his eyes out, and crush his skull. But somehow, Pascal managed to turn this short appearance into one of the most memorable Game of Thrones episodes of all time. One of the best duels in the entire series. Loved Oberyn's confidence. It's been 11 years, I'm still recovering from this scene. However, it wasn't just this fight that fans loved. Pascal brought a natural charisma to the role. He pulled off a unique combination of elegance and aggression that perfectly fit the part, as well as the undertones of the character's sexual orientation without overdoing it. Pedro said, "He was dangerous. I'm not dangerous, but I have a sharp nose. I will probably be playing bad guys forever because of my face. There was something so sexy about the character. I loved stepping into that fantasy."
This one's talking about Pedro Pascal by hello, Christian. Your voice is a bit far. Is it? Is it? Is it far? I don't know. Is it? Does it seem far? By what's his name? I listened to him. By Patrick Cece. That's literally his name. I don't know if you know who he is, but he's talking about Pedro Pascal.
One of the things that the creators told me was just by mention of his bisexuality, there was a flamboyance the actors started to attribute to the character in their auditions. That never occurred to me. He seemed so male to me. The fact that he was bisexual had nothing to do with his exterior persona. Pedro was very artistically motivated, which is on par for an actor first breaking into mainstream Hollywood after years of grinding. He was just grateful to be included, letting the work speak for itself. I actually found this old interview clip where he seemingly stopped himself from saying something he might later regret.
I would have, if I had to. I had a really great time playing this character.
And because of his professionalism, over the next 3 years, Pascal was getting jobs thrown at him left and right, playing heroes and complicated characters seeking justice by any means necessary. He got the chance to work with Matt Damon in The Great Wall, played the lovable American Secret Service member, Whiskey, in Kingsman: The Golden Circle, and arguably got his second biggest role after GOT, which was starring in the Netflix show Narcos as Javier Peña, a DEA agent hunting for Pablo Escobar. Pedro was quickly becoming a Hollywood favorite, and like most modern Hollywood actors, he ever so slightly began to make casual conversations political. On his Instagram, he posted comics about right-wing extremists, demanded action against firearms in America, and made comments about foreign affairs, such as sharing doodles about how it was a big mistake for Britain to leave the European Union, or when he criticized the actual DEA after playing a role as a DEA agent.
You know, it was weird because, like I said, I'm from Chile, and I am a child of socialist political refugees. We are very liberal, and
that's a big lie. He's lying. Just to let everyone know, he's actually lying. That's not actually true.
Can't seem to shake the feeling among
not the communist thing. Him saying he escaped. That's a big fucking lie.
Amongst the DEA, because I mean, I don't want to accuse them of being conservative, but
But he wasn't necessarily on an all-out crusade to associate politics with his work. He still had a brand to build, and he really started developing a fan base through his interviews, like this one with Chelsea Handler. This interview was supposed to be about him, but fans loved how he sat back and seemingly got more enjoyment out of her discussing her personal projects and crazy stories.
So I did one, Chelsea Does Marriage was my first one, which is all about my personal feelings about marriage and exploring with my family. It was very personal. It was like talking to my ex-boyfriends, talking to people who've been married for like 65 years, talking to people who were in
65 days.
Yeah, 65 days, exactly. For people who are in like a throuple relationship, like two women and a man that like operate as a couple. It's called a throuple, that's a thing now.
Pascal's body language and soft responses fed into the idea that he was this sensual, calm, and attractive person, and the fans loved it. He has a really hot voice. When he says, "Yeah, geez, my ovaries, this is what a real man looks like." And this is where the roots of Pascal mania really started to emerge in the press. The media ran with the narrative that he was a new sexual icon, and that he was an example of positive masculinity in a world full of toxic masculinity. He was boasted as what women craved and what men should aspire to be, and his newfound popularity commanded another wave of huge film opportunities, like landing the title role in Disney's The Mandalorian in 2019. That show didn't just pull in Star Wars fans, it brought in over 100 million Disney Plus subscribers and won 14 Emmys across its first 2 seasons. Pedro's quiet, masked performance was suddenly being
100 million? That's a big fucking... Is that right? 100 million? That's great. That's weird. 100 million. Good draw. Thank you. Good draw, Stellar Blade. I already did that. You gotta go for my Instagram.
Called iconic. Then came Wonder Woman 1984, the unbearable weight of massive talent alongside Nicolas Cage, and massive buzz around HBO's The Last of Us series, which premiered in early 2023. That show pulled in over 30 million viewers across platforms in its first few weeks, becoming one of HBO's most successful series debuts since Game of Thrones. It seemed like no matter what type of project Hollywood greenlit, they found a way to slot Pedro in. Big budget superhero movies, moody post-apocalyptic dramas, indie short short films, romantic comedies. He was everywhere all at once. The media dubbed it the year of Pedro Pascal. By the start of 2023, Variety, GQ, Vanity Fair all ran features praising his rise from struggling actor to A-list star. He was being nominated for Golden Globes, Critics' Choice Awards, and there was even some Oscar talk surrounding his.
What balls did he have to fondle to get to this point? you got kind of wonder to yourself, kind of balls did you have to jump on just to get on me?
His name. But I would be seriously lying to you if I said that much of fans' conversation surrounding Pedro was about his phenomenal acting. It was more about his image, what he represented, because Pascal had a few specific qualities that made him the perfect modern male superstar in Hollywood. Actors used to be slightly mysterious. They had odd personalities that gave them an interesting aura. Now they post themselves doing TikTok dances because...
Yeah, I think when we say modern male, I think that's a bad take, because something modern doesn't seem natural to me. You know what I'm saying? You're the modern take of what a man is or what a woman is. I'm like, bro, I think whatever the take should be is something is natural. When it has to be modern, that means it can always be changed. It's not something that is natural. It's not happening when you have to label it like that. It doesn't even sound, you're not even saying you're the most natural modern man. You just say you're modern. That means this is only for a trend for the moment.
Well, they're just like you, and they love TikTok, just like you. The modern Hollywood star is constantly trying to seem relatable and down to earth because social media has slowly dismantled the value of a celebrity. Social media has opened the door for actual normal people to have influence, to have fans, to make money by entertaining others. And
but that's not only it. What social media has done is kill the idea of what a celebrity is, because before social media became what it is, it used to be like, especially in the early 2000s, like being a celebrity in the early 2000s, 90s, 80s, 70s, whatever, you was considered like a god to most people because you was like a mysterious figure to most people. Like, we seen you in the box, the little TV box, but I don't know what your takes are. I don't know what you're into, but like, if you're attractive, that was pretty much it. Like, perfect example of this, even though he was not technically a celebrity, he was infamous for this, but when Ted Bundy was on trial back in the, I think, 70s or in the 80s? I think it was in the 70s. Was it in the 70s? I think it was in the 70s. And when he was on trial, majority of the women was saying that how good looking he was. Now, he was just an average dude, but the fact that they claimed that he was so attractive, most of the women didn't believe he was doing the things he was doing. Now, imagine a celebrity back in the 70s who are known to be on TV and stuff, who did anything close to what Ted Bundy did. They would absolutely not believe him because they said he has money, he has power, he has fame. Why would he do all these things, right? So it's kind of like a weird, it's like a weird status that is now dismantled because of the idea of like social media. Social media now, you can add any celebrity right now. They may or may not respond, but the fact that you can at any celebrity, like on Twitter or whatever the case may be, tells you that they're just, or tell you at least they're human enough to be contacted. Now, the chances of them responding will be like 1 to a million, like very unlikely, especially if they're, I wouldn't say it's even, if it is the celebrity, 9 times out of 10 they have someone running their account. So for you to even get lucky enough to get the account to be responded to, that's one thing, and then make it the actual person responding, that's a whole different ballgame too.
And it turns out, you don't have to have this overly glamorous life to have millions of followers. You can just be a normal person with a camera and a good idea. It seems like Hollywood has taken note of this and wants all of the benefits that come with the appeal of a regular person with influence and hope that you ignore their multi-million-dollar homes, exclusive parties, supercars, high fashion, PDF file allegations, and all other
You really have to add that part. He's not wrong though. He's out of pocket for saying it, but like, he's right. He's not wrong for saying that. But then again, it was not needed at the same time. That's why he laughed. That was fucking. That took me off guard for a split second.
Alright, that was too much. But it's hard to blame them for doing this when it clearly works. We've entered a phase in entertainment where an actor's online personality actually generates more interest in their films from fans. A quick search of Pedro Pascal online and you will get seemingly endless content that describes him as a chaotic ray of sunshine, the funniest man alive, or being a living meme, or restoring their faith in men. And because of this, interviews of him—
anyone who's writing shit like this tells you for a fact that they're full of shit. When these multi-million dollar companies say these type of shit, I know you're full of shit. They're more genuine when they're trying to destroy you than they are trying to big you up. Dead serious.
Almost always have a segment devoted to teasing him in an erotic and awkward way. Like when Pascal was interviewed about his role in Disney's Mandalorian, reading a comment sexualizing his literal knee.
Tell us about your slutty little knee.
What?
What are you talking about?
What? What do you mean? What is
And
happening?
while the whole Hollywood heartthrob thing is nothing new, some people are beginning to wonder if this is all forced, feeling that it almost seems like he and Hollywood are campaigning to build him up to be something more than he actually is. For Pascal, almost every interaction he has feels perfectly manufactured for social media virality. He responds to heartfelt questions with a little stutter, places his head in his hand, and does not break eye contact when other women are telling their stories, like he's charmed by every word they say. And there are long compilations where he stops discussing his movies to take a look at the woman's painted nails.
Let's see what you got. What do you think? Oh, they're gorgeous and glowy. That's a beautiful. It's like cotton candy with the sparkle. They're gorgeous.
Thank you. And I'm going to have you introduce yourself.
Let's see your nails first.
Oh, yes, of course.
They're very
like?
nice. Yeah, they're very beautiful.
Thank you. I appreciate it. Okay, especially food. Anyway.
Can I just say one thing? That your nails, they bring out the color in your eyes. I'm not trying to flirt, but it's so I've been kind of obsessing with everybody.
I'm sorry,
but you did that on purpose.
I
didn't
did
you?
that on purpose.
It
How
really
did I
works.
know?
It's very, very
It's
good.
because I bought this weird,
I'm
really
sorry.
amazing
Bro's a bitch. That shit is stupid. I swear to God.
metal ring, and I needed to
Great.
find something to
It's
go
a
with it.
great color.
That's awesome.
If any woman falls for this shit, you deserve to be destroyed.
Hey, thanks.
Thank you so much. And as a fan of your nails, I would like you to show them to me, please. Oh, come on, please.
And look, I'm one to appreciate some good nails. Just look at my fiance's. Now those are nice nails. Pedro Pascal would have a stroke if he saw these with the way he is just handing out compliments to anyone with a weak-ass paint job. The point is, he might appreciate some good nails, but the way he appreciates them comes across as gay best friend, performative for social media virality. And just for clarity, he is not gay. But Pascal made it clear that he liked the positive attention he was receiving, particularly with being called the daddy of the internet.
What are you?
Anyone who self-proclaims himself as daddy. Oh, last we checked, a man who called himself daddy and had other men call him daddy. We found that he's a supervillain. So that probably might tell you something right there. That's where the red flags start coming in right there. If bro proclaims himself as daddy, and we already have a celebrity who referred to himself as daddy and had other grown men and probably women call him daddy, that's a red flag right there. Bro's a literal supervillain.
Are you the daddy of the internet? What's internet daddy?
Me.
Yeah, you are.
It got to a point where seemingly every interview he did, they brought up this daddy of the internet thing, and he was embracing it.
You know you're the daddy of the internet, right?
I call Pedro Pascal a dilf and think he's my cool, slutty father.
Those words should not be in the same sentence, much less even encouraged to be said. That, like, even he knows that bullshit sounds like bullshit. Look, that's what he made a face. He's like, that's just bullshit. He's like, you know what? Like, saying it out loud is one thing. Oh no, saying to yourself is one thing. Saying it out loud just sounds wild. Hello.
I am your cool, slutty daddy.
When he took this lie detector test with Vanity Fair, he tried to tell them that he didn't see himself as a Hollywood heartthrob, only to be caught in a lie immediately after.
Do you think you're a heartthrob?
I don't.
He's lying.
Really? That's right.
God damn.
Yes, I am. Yes, I'm a heartthrob. Am I lying? That's the truth. I'm a heartthrob.
Is it a lot of pressure being a heartthrob?
No.
Do you ever look at Instagram accounts devoted to you being a heartthrob when you're feeling down?
Yes, I do.
And while this could be perceived as something silly, it's hard for him to have humility when he literally spends his time consuming content that is praising him. And since he knows exactly what people want by studying fan accounts, he seemingly will also clip farm during his interviews, because he knows how much his fans love their internet daddy.
You or this man, Oscar Isaac?
I'm a bigger daddy than him. I'm older than him. Although he's a real daddy. He's got kids and I don't. But daddy is a state of mind, you know what I'm saying?
Oh god, stop saying it. It sounds fucking weird. This is cringe. I don't know why. If any woman thinks this is attractive for this man to say that over, you are crazy. I swear.
I'm your daddy.
It's hard to argue against Pascal leaning into this image that he has been given for his own gain. I mean, it's just smart business at this point, but it starts to beg the question of how much is genuine and how much is performance for his mostly female fan base. Even Pascal's obsessed and loyal fans felt like they were getting the "we must sexualize and obsess over Pascal" narrative shoved down their throats. One fan said, "It was cute at first, but I think reporters have taken it too far. It's a lazy way to try to get a soundbite. Interview him. Don't just talk at him about a kink and expect him to respond. I don't promote anything calling him daddy anymore. It's like you took a bite of cake and thought it was good and now it's being smashed in your face."
Yeah.
But among his fans, this was not the popular opinion. The positive press was working, and Pedro quite literally started dominating Hollywood. Within a single year, he was starring in HBO's The Last of Us, which wrapped its record-breaking first season in March. Less than a month later, season 3 of The Mandalorian premiered. That's 2 lead roles on 2 of the biggest streaming platforms in the world running simultaneously. Then he was cast as Mr. Fantastic in Marvel's Fantastic Four reboot. Full superhero franchise commitment on top of everything else. In between all of that, he took roles in Ari Aster's film Eddington, Ridley Scott's Gladiator sequel, the highly anticipated crime drama Drive Away Dolls, multiple projects filming back to back, overlapping press tours, award show appearances. At one point in 2024, Pedro was working on 4 different major productions at once, bouncing between London, Los Angeles, and Morocco. To put it into perspective, most A-list actors take on 1 or 2 major roles per year, 3 if they're grinding. Pedro was attached to at least 7 confirmed film and TV projects between 2023 and mid-2025, and that's not
Are you serious? That's a lot. Holy moly.
even counting voice work or cameos. His agent even admitted in a Variety interview that they were turning down 10 to 20 scripts a month just to manage his schedule. And yet for fans scrolling through social media, it seemed like Pedro was somehow always available, always charming, always present in interviews, always asking about others' nails. He was being propped up as the cultural icon of the 2020s, and I personally witnessed the effects of that in real life. A few weeks ago, my fiance and I were eating lunch in this really cramped restaurant where all the tables were side by side, and next to us was a young woman who was finishing up her meal, and then the waiter came over and asked her if she wanted dessert. She said, "No, I'm saving room for popcorn at the movies," before saying that she was going to see Materialists. And the waiter was like, "Oh, is that the movie where..." And you could tell he tried to explain the plot, but he didn't really know like what the movie was about. As he was like stumbling through his explanation of the plot, the girl literally just cuts him off and says, "Honestly, I don't know what the movie's about, but I'm just going to see Pedro Pascal." And I was thinking about doing a video about Pedro Pascal, but that was really the moment where I realized that I had to, because I thought it was extremely interesting that a woman in her early 20s was going to the movies by herself on a Saturday, not because she was interested in the movie, but just because she wanted to see Pedro Pascal. And I can't help but feel like this type of notoriety in our modern social media climate is like a ticking time bomb. The longer Pedro stays on top, the more he risks becoming everything the internet loves to tear down: overhyped, overexposed, and maybe worse, a fraud. And nothing will bring on the hate train faster than when an actor shifts the conversation from their acting to their political views. But the first indication of a shift against Pedro Pascal was when fans noticed he had a habit of constantly touching and caressing his co-stars, particularly when this clip went viral of him grabbing Vanessa Kirby's hand. Now, Pedro has said multiple times in the past past that he suffers from anxiety, and whoever posted this video said that grabbing someone's hand will help calm his nerves. And even if this were not true, it's clear that Vanessa is consenting to this.
Bro's a grown 50-year-old man. Bullshit.
As she looks back and grabs his hand. But outside of this situation, he definitely likes to grab women's hands, kiss hands, and maybe even run his fingers through their hair. Now, we don't know what types of relationships he has with these women.
Let's be clear. You may have anxiety, that's fine. I'm not denying that, but the fuck? I notice it's just specifically women. It's like men and women. It's specifically women. Is that just an excuse for something? I don't know, bro. I don't know.
Women behind the scenes. Obviously, we would strongly assume that they're friends or maybe even more than friends. But if he was not this Hollywood heartthrob or exuding soft and safe feminine energy, they would call him creepy, or that he has where my hug at energy. And it's already starting to happen. This post went extremely viral.
Yeah, you're ugly when you have to ask for a hug.
Pedro posing with the cast of Fantastic Four that read, "If I saw another man holding my pregnant wife like that, someone is getting a black eye and some broken teeth." To which commenters sarcastically replied, "It's okay, he's gay and has social anxiety. His hand is just above her ass to keep him from having a panic attack. Don't be insensitive." Now, Pedro and Vanessa are married in the film, so perhaps they are being affectionate to help sell the movie. But in real life, they are not together, and Vanessa is having a baby with her current boyfriend. However, Pedro and Vanessa being touchy-feely is not exactly new and have really been doing it for the build-up of this film, but what really set off the Pedro-Pascal opposition was after Donald Trump's re-election in 2024. Pedro became more noticeably vocal, posting an underlined quote on Instagram that said, "Anger restores the gift of clarity of vision, which is hard to attain in any other state." And from here, he refused to stay silent anymore, frequently posting about global affairs and gender rights, going as far as attacking his fan base if they disagreed with him. Someone said, "You are my favorite actor. I'm unfollowing you. BS." He said, "No," sarcastically. Another fan said, "Man, you were my favorite actors until this." He said, "That's too bad. Wait, no, I don't give a shit." And even though he was getting some pushback, he mostly was getting praised for unapologetically vocalizing his political opinions, specifically in support of his transgender sister, Lux Pascal. In April of 2025,
That's going to bite him in the ass. That's going to bite him severely in the ass. He's gonna get the same issue as what's her name? The bitch from the fucking Snow White movie.
UK Supreme Court ruled that trans women should not be recognized as women, and one of the supporters of this decision was J.K. Rowling, who felt that feminism didn't apply to transgender people in the forms of sharing bathrooms and private spaces. On her yacht, she posted a photo of her celebrating the outcome. The backlash against J.K. Rowling was enormous, although for some, it's unsurprising since she has a history of being extremely controversial. Pascal fired back at her, saying, "Awful, disgusting shit is exactly right. Heinous loser behavior." And in a Vanity Fair cover, he doubled down by calling her a bully. The one thing that I would say I agonized over a little bit was just, am I helping? I want to protect the people I love, but it goes beyond that. Bullies make me effing sick. Rowling seemed pretty unfazed and provided a sarcastic reply to him. "Can't say I feel very shut down, but keep at it, Pedro. God loves a trier." And regardless of a person's political affiliation, defending your family from the digital mob is a perfectly normal reaction. But once Pedro started speaking in interviews about his political positions, it started to come across as performative, like when he was promoting a movie called Eddington at the Cannes Film Festival and started discussing the mass deportations in America.
I want people to be safe and to be protected, and I want very much to live on the right side of history. And I'm an immigrant. My parents are refugees from Chile. I myself was a refugee.
That's a lie, but also when they say stuff like that, I know you're full of shit too.
Fled a dictatorship, and I was privileged enough to grow up in the U.S. and after asylum in Denmark, and if it weren't for that, I don't know what would have happened to us. And so I stand by those protections always. I'm too afraid of your question. I hardly remember what it was.
To have millions of dollars and be terrified to live in America. Oh, the humanity. It's ironic
Alright,
because the
right
man
after this
sitting next to
video,
him,
we
Joaquin
will,
Phoenix, came from being raised
jump on
dirt
peak.
poor in a cult and forced to be a performer on the streets of South America by his irresponsible parents. Pedro comes from an extremely wealthy Chilean family, and this comment isn't totally inaccurate. Pedro's mother was related to the nephew of former Chilean president Salvador Allende. Pedro's parents were supporters of Allende's socialist government, but after the 1973 military coup, they felt they could have a target on their back and moved to America. Pedro wasn't even 1 year old at the time, so he doesn't remember being a refugee. Pedro's mother Veronica was a child psychologist, and his father was a fertility doctor. They lived very comfortable in America.
Pedro Pascal does this little like, ooh, he's so baby girl, ooh, he's so socially anxious, ooh, he's so darling sort of body language thing, and he carries it with him everywhere he goes. Ladies and gentlemen, I'm not buying it. I think Pedro Pascal has risen quite a bit as far as his heartthrob status to like playing into this like baby girl, meek, socially anxious sort of lean, and I don't think it's real.
And with the negative press slowly beginning to rise,
Find that attractive for a man to be socially anxious? I mean, or have anxiety? I don't think that's attractive to women. I don't think so. Maybe there are some women who are into that, but I don't think that's like a common thing for women to hear. I don't think women like hearing that a man has anxiety like that. That it's like part of his whole package. I don't think that's something that they're looking forward to.
previous fans are now laying out their complaints about this 10-year push for Pascal, refusing the idea that he is a sign of positive masculinity or even a good general example for how someone should behave at 50 years old.
Recently, there was a video of him simulating an act at a Last of Us rap party, I think it was, and that was caught on camera. Now, my problem with that is that Pedro Pascal is the leading man for a Disney family property, Fantastic Four. We also hear that he is going to be the leading man of Doomsday. Robert Downey Jr., it's really his movie, but the heroic leading man is going to be Pedro Pascal. And I don't think that that is appropriate to do publicly when you are supposed to be the face of this family brand all of a sudden.
Even ideologically aligned news outlets like The Telegraph have started to change their tune, from overwhelming support to posting headlines like, "The star who could have Hollywood at his feet if Disney can get him to shut up." There's even been a phrase developed for this situation. It's called Pascal fatigue. Now, it is evident that the people who are sort of loudly rejecting Pedro Pascal's dominance are mostly right-wing or the anti-woke Hollywood crowd, but even neutral parties can recognize that he is just kind of a status quo Hollywood product. He is the safe option. A little bit of everything. A little bit of color, a little bit of talent, a little bit of class, a little bit feminine, a little bit masculine. You get the idea. He is the soft beige wallpaper that offends no one but is considered dull by everyone.
That's horrible. That's actually quite horrible. That is not a good thing at all. Being a little bit of everything, you are a mass of nothing. That is horrible. That is quite horrible. It's convenient. It's convenient for certain situations, but that is a horrible thing. Because if you're a master of nothing, you're just kind of dull. Kind of dull. You might be useful, but you eventually will be useless. That is not a good thing.
But even though Pedro Pascal is the safe option right now, I can't help but wonder if
that's actually how I knew about Pedro Pascal. It's because of this meme. I'm not lying. The way I got to know who he was or recognize him is because of this meme. Of this somewhat crying, I don't know if shit's gonna go left type like meme. This is the only way I recognized him from anything. I was like, oh, you're that meme guy who keeps constantly crying. Oh.
that ticking time bomb is about to detonate, because as we have seen time and time again, actors who constantly make their politics the central focus always end up pushing it too far. One wrong post, one bad interview, one poor choice of words, and all that same fan base that have been praising him for years will turn on him in an instant. As one person said perfectly, he has the aura of incoming allegations. And hopefully that's not true. Hopefully he is just another actor who's passionate about their impact on the world. But I think there is one thing that we can all agree on, is that we don't need Pedro Pascal to be a leading man in 9 films a year.
You're not wrong. Alright, Mike, you ready? Here. Oh. Okay, let's go. Alright. So we're gonna put some key. Yeah. Maybe if I I feel like she's a little chubby, but I can't tell. Quick before I go. Okay. Does it really scream like a witch though? I don't know. Maybe I should make it white instead of wrapping. Okay, you know what? Instead of wrapping this around this part, read this. And then what I'll do is No, it didn't. I just wasn't talking, or the thing. No, it's fine. All right, so I'm gonna stop it from here. Like I said, I got a little carried away trying to make this work. Okay, so just to be clear, we're working on it. We're gonna be doing 3 different witches. That's what we're going. Not today, but we're gonna be working. That's what we're gonna be doing. I need to get these witches out of the way, and then I'll do like 3 witches, and I'll do a witch. I'll do different types. I'll do a witch, a female werewolf, and a zombie. And then I'll do 3 males. I'll do a vampire. What is it? Another one. What probably a ghoul or something. And then something else. And some form of serial killer. I don't know. So it will be best if I do that because it'll be ready for the holiday season when Halloween comes and we can do the auction around the holiday. So it'll give people more reason to get one once we do the auction. I think that makes a lot of sense. So just doing like 3 different versions of like, I think that makes more sense. If I put the hair like this. Something's crawling. No, there's nothing playing. There's nothing playing right now. Hello. I don't know if I should keep it chunky. Maybe I should keep it chunky. Yeah. Or something. There we go. Okay, there we go. Now, I think the hair's a little ridiculous, but we can make it better than that, I think. Actually, don't want to put too much emphasis on the hair here because it's gonna... I think it takes away a lot from it. Something like that. And then the hat will be like, because she has a hat. Something like that. We'll figure that out. Alright. Alright, guys, we're gonna go play Peak. I'll be right back. I'm gonna turn off the stream. I'm gonna go play Peak. We're gonna play on Twitch, YouTube, and TikTok. I don't think we're gonna play it on Kick, and I don't think we're gonna play on Instagram. So that was the fun I had for right now. I just did that just to kill time because I was waiting on my mod. He said he's on, so we're gonna go play Peak. So see you guys in the next one. Those who care about that, if you don't, whatever. Alright, I'll be right back.